Born to wealth, Sheela was a gilded bird in a cage, and her love for dance was the one key she possessed. Her parents, however, saw it as a stain upon their pristine legacy. "How many times must I tell you?" Her father's voice echoed through the grand hall, cold as the marble beneath her feet. "Cease this grotesque pantomime. You have dragged the name of this family through the filth of the streets." "Daddy, I will dance." Sheila's voice, though trembling, held a core of steel. "I will dance until my last breath leaves my body. Nothing you do can still my feet." "Very well," he declared, his face a mask of stone. "Then you have no relation to this house. Pack your things and get out." She stepped out into the suffocating darkness of a full moon night. The air was thick, heavy, and silent, save for the distant mournful wails of stray dogs that sounded almost human. A shiver, cold and sharp, traced a path down Sheila's spine, and then she saw him. In the dead center of the deserted road, a young man was dancing, but it was no dance of joy. It was a horrifying spectacle of contorted limbs and unnatural, jerking movements, as if an unseen force was puppeteering his body, breaking and resetting his bones with every beat of a silent demonic drum. Sheila's scream caught in her throat as his head snapped in her direction, his eyes locking onto hers. He stopped dancing and began to move towards her, his steps quick and predatory. "Someone please help me," she shrieked into the night. "Wait," his voice cut through her panic. "I won't hurt you. I was just intrigued. I had to follow you." "By chasing me like a predator," she shot back, her heart still hammering against her ribs. "What are you even doing out here, dancing in the middle of the road at this hour?" "Forget about me," he said, a wry smile touching his lips. "What about you? Where are you going?" I've just left my home," she confessed. An unlikely friendship bloomed in the moonlight, born from a shared, forbidden passion. His name was Jodi, and he was handsome, a street dancer who took odd jobs to survive. Sheela felt a pull towards him, a kinship she'd never known. They began to dance together on street corners and empty crossroads, their strange, beautiful duets becoming a local legend. But legends, especially the beautiful ones, often attract the darkest kind of attention. Her parents heard the whispers. The shame was more than they could bear. Her mother, a woman with a heart of ice, hatched a venomous plot, dispatching her two brothers, thugs with violence in their souls, to erase the stain of Jodi forever. That night, the air was crisp and clear.
"You know,"
Jodi murmured, his voice soft, "you are far more beautiful than the moon tonight." "What did you say?" Sheela laughed, her heart soaring. "Why would I compare you to the moon?" he continued, his eyes twinkling. "People have walked on the moon in dusty boots, but you are celestial." They swayed in each other's arms, lost in a world of their own. From the shadows, two figures watched, their blood boiling with hate. "Dance with me," Sheela whispered. "I'll perform your favorite tonight." As they moved, locked in an intimate embrace, two shadows detached from the darkness. The glint of steel flashed under the moonlight. As their lips met, Sheila's uncle raised a gleaming, monstrous sword. With a sickening thwump, he brought it down upon Jodi's neck, his head separated from his body. A hot spray of blood erupted, painting Sheila's face in a grotesque mask of crimson. Jodi's body stood for a moment, impossibly, before collapsing in a heap. No, her scream tore through the night, a raw, primal sound of a soul being ripped in two. The world went black as she fainted. They dragged her home and bound her with ropes, a prisoner in the house she once fled, but her mind was a cage of a different kind, one where the image of Jodi's death played on an endless screaming loop. One quiet afternoon, using the very ropes that held her captive, Sheela hung herself, sacrificing her life to the memory of her murdered love. Scrawled on the wall in her own blood was a final damning message: "My family is the reason for my death." Her parents, consumed by their twisted honor, buried her without ceremony in an unmarked grave. "What good is a daughter who wanders the streets like an animal?" her father spat. "It is better to be childless than to have such a disgrace." Years passed. One night, a man named Robert was riding his motorcycle down that same cursed crossroads with his wife Carol. Suddenly, a figure appeared in his headlights, a woman, her face a horrifying mask of decay, her movements jerky and unnatural. Gasps, he swerved, crashing the bike into a tree. "Can't you watch where you're going?" Carol cried out, rushing to his side. "We could have been killed. Oh God, you're bleeding." At the city hospital, as a nurse bandaged the gash on his head, Robert's gaze drifted to the window, and his blood ran cold. Under a flickering street lamp below, the same woman was there. She was performing a slow, convulsive dance, a chilling echo of the one Sheela and Jodi used to share. He felt a profound, bone-deep terror. Carol, look," he stammered, pointing a trembling finger. "Down there, that woman, she's dancing. Don't you see her?" Carol looked. She saw nothing but an empty, windswept street. Later that night, standing on his balcony, Robert looked down again. She was there, the dancing woman. She was jerking and twitching under the street lamp, but this time she stopped. Slowly, she tilted her head back, and her eyes, glowing with a malevolent red light, stared directly up at him. "Carol," he screamed, stumbling back into the room. "What is it? Why are you screaming?" "It's her, the woman from the crash. She's down there." Carol rushed to the balcony and peered over. Nothing. But just as she turned to speak, a deafening, violent bang 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 erupted from their front door, as if someone was trying to break it down. "Who could be knocking like that?" Carol whispered, her voice trembling with fear. "I'm so scared." "Don't be afraid," Robert said, his own fear a bitter taste in his mouth. "Let me see who it is." As he approached, the door didn't just open, it exploded inwards, splintering into 1,000 pieces. And there she stood, Sheela, the Serbian Dancing Lady. Her body was a nightmare of cracking bones and twisted limbs, her long, dark hair obscuring a face contorted in pure hatred. Robert screamed. Carol took one look at the apparition and collapsed in a dead faint. "Who are you?" Robert shrieked, scrambling backwards. "What have we ever done to you?" "I have come to kill you, Robert. You, the divorce lawyer. You who have profited from tearing loving couples apart. But that's my job. It's not my fault," he pleaded, tears streaming down his face. "I'll quit. I'll never do it again. Please don't kill me. My wife, she has no one else." He begged, he cried, he bargained. Sheela did not listen. Her body began to contort further, the sound of snapping cartilage filling the room. Her red eyes burned into his. With a final inhuman shriek, she lunged, her long, sharp claws plunging into his face, ripping his eyes from their sockets. When Carol awoke, the first thing she saw was her husband's mutilated corpse. A sob caught in her throat, but as she wept over his body, a strange, cold sensation crept up her spine. Her body was lifted into the air. She felt her own bones begin to crack and shift, her hair falling over her face, her eyes burning with a new, unholy red light. Since that night, it is Carol who is seen at the crossroads, a new dancer for the damned duet. Many have seen her, late at night, performing a macabre broken ballet in the middle of the road. The curse continues, and the dance never ever